What is up, guys? It's me, Zach Lee, back here on that grind, on that quest to that cool million or at least 200,000 first subscribers. Anyways, y'all were showing crazy amounts of love on the video yesterday, which is why I say you guys are the most amazing supporters on all of YouTube. I genuinely believe that I have some of the most amazing supporters on this platform. The support you guys give me makes me want to come back every day better for you guys, so that's what I'm going to try and do. So let's start with this video. Yesterday was one of the more emotional days in the NBA. Everywhere you looked, you saw something Kobe Bryant related. Hashtag 8vs24, hashtag Mamba Day, hashtag Mamba Mentality. People sharing their favorite Kobe moments. And the reason for all this Kobe love yesterday was, of course, the Lakers officially retiring Kobe Bryant's jersey, or jerseys. There's an S at the end of that because he had both jerseys retired, number 8 and number 24. And this happened in the Lakers game against the Warriors. There were tons of former NBA legends in attendance for that game. Oddly enough, Phil Jackson, the coach that coached Kobe to his 5 championships, said he couldn't make it, but I guess it's whatever. And I just wanted to talk about this first in the video to kind of get the elephant out of the room and to say congrats, Kobe, on your amazing, wonderful, spectacular career that you had. I know that you inspired countless people with your play on the court, and I'm sure there are plenty of players in the NBA or that are getting ready to jump into the NBA who picked up the basketball and are who they are because of you. Spam out the salutes in the comment section for Kobe. The man is a walking legend. As for the game itself, we might as well cover that real quick. It was a game that was worthy of Kobe having his jersey retired on. I mean, how whack would it have been if Kobe had his jersey retired on a blowout or something like that in a game where it was over before it started? Still though, I mean, most people knew going into this game who was most likely going to win before it started. It's the Warriors versus the Lakers in 2017, not 2001. For the majority of the game though, you really couldn't tell who was going to come away with the win in this one. The Dubs, still without Draymond and Curry, but they haven't been beaten yet without those guys, so that's not an excuse at this point. And the Lakers were going hard in this game. Not even gonna lie, it almost looked like Kobe wasn't the only guy whose career was officially over last night after Kevin Durant got the Larry Nance Jr. treatment at the rim. I thought his career might have been just as much over as Kobe's was. The Lakers were in attack mode all night yesterday. Kuzma was flames off the bench as always. Julius Randle was great. Lonzo Ball was great. Ingram was balling. You could tell that LA was playing with a purpose yesterday. Still though, Kevin Durant saved face a little bit in this game by hitting the game-winning shot over Lonzo with like 6 seconds left. Kinda helped mitigate the fact that he got obliterated at the rim a couple of times and also had one of his worst shooting games in a while. 10 of 29 from the field for KD. That doesn't happen too often. Still finished with 36 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 blocks though, and this was just a great game overall. This could be phase 1 of Anthony Davis getting traded from the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, us fans, we have talked about a possible Anthony Davis trade for what seems like years now. Granted, it always has to do something with the Boston Celtics, but a trade is a trade. But for the most part, we kind of question whether or not a trade would actually happen, mainly because Anthony Davis has said time and time again how loyal he is to the New Orleans Pelicans, that he looks up to guys like Tim Duncan and Dirk Nowitzki, who spent their entire careers with one franchise and were able to win a ring with that franchise. He wants to be like them. And if a player as great as Anthony Davis wants to stay somewhere, then most likely he is going to stay there, because what team would trade away Anthony Davis or a talent like Anthony Davis if that talent wants to be there? No one. The only way he would ever get traded is if he said, yo, I don't want to be here. So that's pretty much all that's been keeping Anthony Davis from popping up in some serious trade rumors. Like I said though, that could be changing. Yesterday, he did a little bit of an interview with ESPN, and the whole topic of player loyalty to organizations came up, talking about how Isaiah Thomas got traded from the Boston Celtics even though he led them to the Eastern Conference Finals. And this is what AD had to say about it. It makes you wonder, does this organization really have my back? I've been loyal to this organization. I love it here. I love this team. I think we're moving in the right direction. DeMarcus, Rondo, some other players that are helping us, but people get judged on winning, and I want to win. You look at the Warriors, Cleveland, Boston. They lose Gordon Hayward. They're still playing well. KD, Steph, Draymond, Clay. They play so well with each other. They move the basketball. They don't care who scores. Steph and Draymond are out, and they still won. KD is out. They still win. Outside of Rondo, Cousins, and Holiday, not even Anthony Davis could name the rest of the players on the Pelicans. So as you see, the seed of doubt has been planted in the back of Anthony Davis's mind as to what is loyalty to these NBA teams. He said he's still loyal right now and loves the team, so there is that, but the seed has been planted, and more than anything, it seems like Anthony Davis cares about winning. He sees all these other teams in the NBA that are able to win on a consistent nightly basis and is like, I wonder what it must be like to be them. I wonder what it must be like to be on a team where they actually know how to win games. See, here's the whole thing about player loyalty. I am all for player loyalty, especially when it comes to the great players of the league. And they want to be loyal to a team that is great. However, I do not think players should be blindly loyal to some of these teams. They should only be loyal to organizations that actually deserve their loyalty. You know what I mean? Tim Duncan was loyal to the Spurs because he already knew that he could win there. Nowitzki was loyal to the Mavs because he knew they were trying to get him a ring. Kobe was loyal to the Lakers because of course they were going to get him rings. Teams like that where it's a good winning environment. If you're a player, you have to look around and ask yourself, does this team know what the heck they're doing? If I stay here, will I really legitimately have a shot of ever winning a championship? If the answer is yes, then you should be loyal to that team. If the answer is no, then why are you loyal to that team? But for Anthony Davis to be this loyal to the Pelicans, an organization who, quite frankly, hasn't done anything and doesn't look like it's going to do anything even though they have Anthony Davis, it might not be the best move for his career, and maybe he's starting to realize that.
What you say? What? Which one of y'all said that?
What's up, Lillard? Hey, what's up, Lillard?
What's up, Dan?
Hey, what's up, dog? What's up, Lillard?
I know for a fact whoever that was talking trash to Damian Lillard needed a new change of underwear after that. Some people just think they can say whatever they want to say and there will be no consequences for it. They know that if they had the chance to say anything to their faces, they would not trash talk to the face of an NBA player. This is what happens when an NBA player catches you talking trash and confronts you about it. You don't say anything. What's even more important is who on earth out there is trash talking Damian Lillard? Now, he's no Kawhi Leonard or Giannis Antetokounmpo. He might not be on their level of likableness amongst NBA fans, but he has to be pretty high up there. Unless you're a Houston Rockets fan, for obvious reasons, of course, you should have no problems with Damian Lillard. I mean, the man hasn't done anything. As for the game, though, I guess we might as well cover that while we're talking about this. Jimmy Butler went off last night for 37 points, and that was enough for the Wolves to grind out the 108-107 win over the Blazers. 37 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals for Jimmy Butler last night. And after the game, he was talking about how he does everything he can for his teammates and that he will fight for them until he can't walk anymore.
2 days ago, you were laying on the floor with your back, in pain. How did you get from there to where you were tonight in 2 days?
My guys, I ride for everybody in this locker room. I'm going to battle with them as long as I can walk. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I love this game. And I always think like, a kid from Tomball a long time ago, if you had to tell him, your back will hurt, but you still get to play in the NBA game. He's jumping up at that opportunity every single time.
Man was in pain out there still getting buckets. Most players, they would have sat out this game yesterday, but still kind of like Kobe, you would have to seriously break Jimmy Butler to keep him off the court, and even then he would still be trying to play. He knows that he worked too hard to get where he's at to let a little bit of back pain keep him from playing. Much respect. Nominee for worst loss of the year. I feel kind of bad for even talking about this game because I know there are some Indiana fans out there watching this right now who are tempted to click on this video just so they don't have to relive this terrible moment. So I'm gonna make this quick. It'll be like pulling off a band-aid. Indiana was getting blown out by Boston in the first half. In the second half though, they fought back behind Victor Oladipo and his 38 points on the night. Matter of fact, they fought back so much they wound up with a 111-110 lead with only seconds left to go in the game, and they had the ball. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, they were even able to inbound the ball cleanly, but that's when it all went terribly wrong. After the inbounds, the Celtics were trying to foul to stop the clock and send Indiana to the free throw line. The refs, for some reason, weren't calling it. Ball gets passed to Bogdanovich. Mistake number 1. And instead of just holding the ball and letting the Celtics foul him, he attempts to make a pass. Mistake number 2. The pass gets stolen by Rozier, who takes it to the other end of the court for the dunk with only a seconds left to go in the game. Celtics win 112 to 111. I would normally bash Bogdanovic for passing the ball when all he needed to do was hold on to it, but I know he is already upset with himself for making that mistake, so I will spare him this time. Speaking of bad losses though, Utah, I can't imagine what it must feel like to 1 second think that you have a shot at beating the team with the best record in the NBA, and then the next second wonder why you were ever even thinking you had a chance in the first place. The Jazz were going toe-to-toe with the Rockets for the entire first 3 quarters. I even thought this could be the game that the Rockets' winning streak would end, but as soon as that fourth quarter started, it was like a completely different game. Eric Gordon caught fire in the final period, scoring 17 of his 33 points in the fourth, while Houston won the quarter 41-15 to get the 120-99 win. That just doesn't seem fair, that a team could be playing their very best for 3 quarters, playing a great game, and still get blown out. Other than Eric Gordon, Clint Capella was also huge last night with 24 points and 20 rebounds. Man was a ridiculous plus 35 when he was on the court. Chris Paul and James Harden combined were only a plus 33. Capella, a plus 35. I don't think he gets enough credit for the season he's having for the Rockets. He's been a big reason the defense has been so great this year. And I'm telling you guys, he is just turning into DeAndre Jordan 2.0, but a much better free throw shooter. I think I'm going to give up on expecting the Thunder to get, quote, pretty wins. You know, wins where it looks like they're going to win the game before the game is actually over. They had that one over Golden State, but other than that, all of their wins have just been so scary. You never know who is going to win up until the final buzzer. They went down to the wire against the Nuggets last night. OKC had a big first quarter, but the Nuggets started playing better after that, and Carmelo's quote after the game pretty much summed up how this game went.
Russ had one of those dominant stretches in the fourth. What'd you notice about the way he attacked?
He was just playing. He was being aggressive, playing downhill. Shot was falling tonight. He led us tonight. He led us to the victory.
Russell Westbrook was one of just 2 players for OKC that scored in double figures. He had 38 points on 16 of 28 shooting, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. The entire game plan was give Russ the ball and move out the way. Carmelo Anthony probably had his lowest scoring game maybe ever. 4 points on 2 of 6 shooting, while Paul George also struggled with only 8 points on 3 of 13 shooting. 95-94 was the final score. The Bulls have a 6-game winning streak. Let that sink in for a moment. The Bulls, who had just had a 10-game losing streak, now have a 6-game winning streak. Let that really marinate in the forefront of your mind. The team that was once the laughingstock of the NBA to start the year is now on a 6-game winning streak. Like, is it bad that I'm starting to think when they get Zach LaVine back in a month or so that they might not be that bad? If Chris Dunn, Mirotic, and Portis keep playing as well as they have been playing, am I crazy to believe that they might not be that bad at all? Like, what if they turn out to be the Miami Heat of last year? Terrible at the start, but then for the rest of the year, they're like one of the better teams in the NBA. Still too early to jump to any conclusions though. The Lakers had a nice winning streak last year too, I believe, and we all know they kind of came back to reality after that. Dunn and Mirotic were both great for the Bulls again last night, scoring 22 points each, and 117-115 was the final score. The Spurs beat the Clippers. No real big surprise here. Kawhi Leonard is still on his minutes restriction, only getting like 16 minutes a night right now, but Tony Parker had the best game of the season so far, dropping 16 points and 7 assists in only 23 minutes of action. 109-91 was the final score in this one. Michael Beasley, aka your favorite player's favorite player, aka the walking bucket, aka Melo on the left side of the court, got himself his 20 points last night in the starting role for New York, but it wasn't enough to stop the Hornets from getting their best win of the season, 109-91, and it wasn't because of Kemba Walker or Dwight Howard, but instead it was Frank the Tank off the bench dropping 24 points that did it for Charlotte last night. Walker, on the other hand, had his worst game in a very long time, only scoring 9 points. Watch out, the Suns are now 2-0 ever since they signed Isaiah Cannon, and Cannon was huge on the bench in both their wins. He scored 17 on the bench in Phoenix's 97-91 win over the Mavericks yesterday. Lastly, the Hawks got the win over the Heat. Dennis Schroeder scored 23, Taurean Prince added 24, and that's all that needs to be said about this one. And that wraps up all the action from last night. You guys can go vote for the player of the day by clicking this little card thing right here. Just remember, the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, you guys selected LeBron James and his 20 points, 15 assists, and 12 rebounds as your player of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all already know that y'all are the real MVPs. Make sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe to the channel to join the quest to 200K, as well as stay up to date with everything that's going on in the NBA on a daily basis. But until tomorrow, keep getting the bucks, Team STC, and I'm out of here. Peace!